the boys around here don't listen to the Beatles run. Old Bo Cephas threw a jukebox needle at the honky-tonk where they boot stomp all night. What? Yeah, and what they call work a digging in the dirt. Gotta get it in the ground before the rain come down to get paid, to get your girl and your four-wheel drive. Yeah, the boys round here drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys round here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back, shoot her back, shoot her back a spit. Oh, heck. Well, the boys around here, they're keeping it country. Ain't a damn one know how to do the Dougie. No, I'm not in Kentucky, but these girls around here, yep, they still love me. Yeah, the girls around here, they all deserve a whistle. Shaking that sugar sweet as Dixie Crystal. They like that yawling southern drawl and just can't help it 'cause they just keep falling for the boys around here. Drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back and shoot her back and shoot her back a bit.
Let's ride through the countryside. Let's ride down to the riverside.
Hey now girl, hop inside. It's me and you gonna take a little ride to the river. Let's ride. Let's ride. Lay a blanket on the ground. Kissing in the crickets is the only sound. We out of town. Have you ever got down with a do you wanna get down with a girl, you gotta get down with the boys round here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys round here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back and shoot her back and shoot her back. I'm one of them boys round here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys round here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back and shoot her back and shoot her back a spit.
Sorry. Was doing something else, listening to the song and going, oh crap, I forgot to put in my Bluetooth. Welcome to the WINGIT call. December 2nd, 2016. Take a knee, please. Lord, I want to thank you for everything you provided. From the discipline, the hard knocks, the lessons of life. Without those, I wouldn't have grown to the point that I am, or I have. Probably should be a little farther, but since I'm a little stubborn, ha ha ha, I want to thank you for your guidance. Please protect and oversee everybody that's listening and all that listen to the replay. Give them guidance as you have given me guidance over the years and have brought your grace and patience. And we thank this in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. The recording is started. The disclaimer is, as stated, we're not attorneys, financial advisors, or CPAs. Nothing on this call is in any form of legal advice of any type. For the rest of the disclaimer, please go to the wingitcall.com. There's a disclaimer tab. Click on that, and you'll have the rest of the disclaimer. We got that out of the way. Okay, for a little bit more here. We are now in the month of December. So, after today's call, and ending on December 16th, there will be 2 calls per week. So for the next 2 weeks, there will be 2 calls a week. And then the last 2 weeks of December, we will go down to 1 call a week, and those dates are as follows. December 20th, and the very last final Wing It call for the year will be December 27th. That is after Christmas, so I'm going to start early and say I hope everybody has an enjoyable Christmas, and I hope that we will have bounty aplenty between now and before Christmas so that we can be like drunken sailors and spend our booty off and put a little money in the economy, and everybody will be happy. What else? Oh, also, put this in your thinking cap to remember, the wingitcall.com has all kinds of information on there. Please go there for the call link for the day, if we're having a call that day. Also, the replay links. Let's talk about the replay links. They will be over with December 16th. So if you're wanting to download something from the replay links, I suggest that you get it done between now and December 16th, because on December 17th, they will be no longer available. I hope I said that slowly and plainly. Trying to think what else I might have missed. I think that covers it for a minute. Wingman, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Are we starting as planned?
Sure. I was actually, I had a thought, but I've got to log into my other Gmail account. Why don't you? That's not what I want.
Well,
why don't you go ahead and do your part?
Once I get going, that's probably gonna stimulate enough phone calls. So, just want to make sure we're cleared for takeoff here.
Go ahead.
Okay, so guys, we don't have much time, and I feel that the best way I can serve our little community here is to get real about a number of things, and and call them as I see them. I know some folks are going to agree, and some folks are going to disagree, and some folks are going to think I'm talking to the devil, and some people are going to think I'm a bleeding ass liberal and all that. But the bottom line is, things have to be said now. So here we go. One thing when you talk to a group like this, you got to consider who you're talking to, what your audience is, and we've got a very lively cross section here of Denarians. We've got people who I know have figured this out. We have people who I know are panicked and haven't got a clue. And we've got everything in between. We've got people who think this is a gift from God. We've got people who think this is a gift from aliens. You name it. And all of that's fine. The common denominator is what we're going to do when we get this money, but also how we're going to be that moment we go in for an exchange. And what I want to communicate to everybody is the model that Tony and DC put out 3 years ago is now obsolete. This entire, what I will call a PSYOPs campaign, by both the good guys and the bad guys, and this is the hard thing to discern, has been to delay not only the United States but the world, so that people with good intentions, also people with bad intentions, could figure out how to handle this many new millionaires. Just to refresh your memory, this was only supposed to happen for a few thousand people, as it did in Kuwait. We're now up to 23 million people. That wasn't the plan. Now the money is there, the funds are there, so that all 23 million people can walk away from this thing a lot wealthier than they used to be. But it's just a pragmatic situation. It's like Jerry's analysis, or analogy. You don't want to water your lawn with a fire truck. You want to use a sprinkler you got from Home Depot. Same situation applies. And they have been desperately trying to figure out how to manage this incredible influx of currency. Because of that, we've been given a lot of good information and we've been given a lot of bad information. It's all on purpose. And sometimes it's helped us and sometimes it's hurt us. Like folks losing their houses, it certainly hurt them. However, the same amount of time, it's allowed, I'll use myself as an example, to set up a very sophisticated trust system. And basically provide hundreds of beneficiaries to the money I'm going to receive, which is part of the plan. The plan is to create a planetary middle class, because people who have a roof and food in their bellies and medical care and a modicum of entertainment don't become terrorists, don't start wars, need governments to manage those services, need the services. You go to Gujarat, India, and there's still a 2-foot deep trench going down the center of town, full of raw crap. That's the reality in rural India. It's the reality all over the planet. All this has been designed to help everybody, not just us. But there's going to be a few surprises. And the method, in particular, as to how this wealth gets distributed, again, it's not the Tony DC model. Nobody knows what the method's going to be. But I can tell you right now, it's not going to be the Tony DC model. You're not going to miss out, especially the folks on this call, because we're all paying attention. We're connected in one way, shape, or form. We're gonna know when it's time. We're gonna know what the rates are. A lot of people, and I mean a lot, probably the majority of currency holders, in my opinion, aren't going to have that information, and they're going to miss out. That's just the reality of it. And you know what? That's as it should be, because there has to be balance on the planet. There has to be. We're so out of balance right now. It's crazy, and not just financially. Everything's out of balance. It's got to be brought into balance, or we're going to self-destruct. But what I want you guys to know is, do not panic. Do not listen to the fearmongers. And quite frankly, a fearmonger is anybody that gets to the pit of your stomach. If that happens for you, you got to sit back, you got to breathe, and you got to think. Does this make sense? Just like Tony used to say. Tony was used and manipulated, but he also snuck in as much good as he could. He was in a very unique situation. We all know what that situation was. So he danced a fine line there. But we don't have to dance that fine line. We can call a spade a spade. Don't be surprised if it takes a number of meetings to exchange your currency. If you have Zim, you are going to have a number of meetings. that's just all there is to it, and that's public knowledge now. There's enough of that out there where I don't think I'm betraying any secret information there. The ZIN is an historic bond. It's worth a lot of money. Naturally, it's going to require more administration than than a simple currency swap. But the mythical 20-minute meeting, here's my currency, here's my bank account, let me walk out with a deposit slip. I don't think so. So enough said for now. That's one of the things I want to discuss over the coming weeks. But yeah, you have to understand we are in a new model, and the information around that model has not been available to anybody, and I mean anybody, not Yosef, not Tank, not Zap, not God knows who else. None of these guys have correct information. They have the information they're being fed, and they have the information they're being directed to communicate. And if you don't believe that, fine. I'm not here to justify that. But for you folks who understand where I'm coming from, that's the bottom line, guys. We've been manipulated for both good and bad reasons. Now it's the end. It's time to cash in. They've come up with a plan that makes the most sense for everybody. But what happens is when you act for the majority, some people are going to get burned. That's just the way it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be any people on this call because we're connected, we've communicated, and even the information we don't want to know about, we don't want to hear about, we'll have that at our disposal when the time comes to exchange. So that's my thoughts for today.
That's a basket full. We have some callers here with their hands raised, but if you want to start to raise your hand, I want to make this statement. Yesterday was not a good day for me. And I called Wingman, and we had a nice long conversation. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm having one of those stinking, thinking, drinking moments." So I went to my favorite cigar bar at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, fired up my favorite stogie, and walked into the bar in there and said, "I need a drink." He goes, "What do you want?" I said, "Because I'm doing some stinking, thinking, drinking, water." And so I was sitting there watching ESPN and had that dumb dog look on my face, which doesn't take much according to Dinar Daily. Sorry, I get such a kick out of that. So I was sitting there doing some stinking thinking. And I want to provide you with this, and you can take it for what it's worth or you can throw it in the trash can. But after we exchange, whether you sign an NDA or not, because I was sitting there, I said, "Lord, I'm blank. Need a little help here." And this is what came to me. We're going to get exchange, and yes, we're going to be okay. But as His good word says, got to be good stewards. We've got to protect ourselves and watch out for ourselves. And in today's age, they all want us to go to a cashless society. So here goes my stinking thinking. After you have exchanged, I suggest that an attorney firm, definitely legal advice. Don't know how it's going to be done, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out how to put a good piece of money in a different, I'm going to mute you out for a second, Iko. A good dab of money in an escrow account. That's all I'm going to call it. It probably could be called something else. Because with a push of a button, they can freeze your assets. And one of the first things that you need to have is legal representation. And if you can't get to your money, you are screwed. So take a good chunk, and not just for legal fees, but find out a way to set up an account that also has living expenses in it. And, you know, you might want to make it a handsome number for your living expenses. Some people might have a couple million, and some people might have several $100 million in there. Just depends on your situation. But if you've got it out of your account over into something else that is like an escrow type account, like I said, there's probably another name for it, but I'm just describing. This is what was brought to my attention. It still could be underneath your control. I guess it's how everything's worded, but I'm suggesting that's what I'm going to do. Because if you can't get to your cash, you can't represent yourself, you can't do anything, and you're basically back to square one, and we know how that can happen. So why not take that out of the equation? So there's much more, but we're going to stop right there because, Aiko, we have the man from down under. Go ahead, sir. The man from down under probably got himself muted, but he's unmuted. Swirling to the left, sir. Come on down.
Yo. Well, hello, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
And, yeah. And to Eichel and to Art, I want to wish them a Merry Christmas as well. And 'tis the season. I think that in listening to Eichel, I agree with the fact that just the sense of it is that I think we're closer than we've ever been, and we've also heard that before. So there's probably a bit of reality as well as not in that comment. I think that a lot of us, and I would include myself in this, I practiced going into a bank and just talking to one of the representatives just in regards to currency and so forth, to kind of get over that, what I call similar to pregame jitters. And the first time I was real nervous. The second time I wasn't nervous at all. And the third time it became apparent that I probably knew more than the person I was talking to. And so to get rid of some of the angst that some of us, I think, would feel, I think if you practice going into a bank, if nothing else, introducing yourself and just using it as a trial run or a dry run, but knowing that your goal is to create a relationship and create a name and a face connection with the people that you're talking to, I think that will be a wise move to make, and also help to bide the time between now and when that happens. I do have a couple of questions. When this thing does pop, will you tweet that out, Jerry, to everybody? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I am glad you brought that up. If because we don't know the rules yet.
Right.
If I'm allowed to, I will bring you everything that I can without sacrificing myself by falling on my own sword.
Sure.
So
that makes
I hope
sense.
that is right.
Yeah, good. Because I know a lot of people are kind of worried about, gee, we'll be left out in the open, but I really think that the word will spread through Dinarland, probably from a variety of ways. The things have been initiated and started. So I don't think we have to worry about, gee, will I know? I think it hasn't been kept a very good secret thus far, and a lot of people.
At one time, I used to be in Yosef's good graces, and I was assured that I would get the 800 numbers. But I've also heard, since I'm not in his best graces, that I'm still slated on the book to be able to bring 800 numbers to the masses. Now, if this happens, I don't know. Only time will tell.
Right.
Okay.
Well, good, excellent. Looking forward, as we chatted a bit earlier. I wanted to get on the call and just kind of share those thoughts, so that I think there is a tranquility to have without just think, geez, I hope I'm calm, but to actually do a few things first, so that you're ready for when they blow the whistle. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
and Merry Christmas
Well, thank
to
you,
everybody,
sir.
and you bet.
All right. Bye-bye. On the web, Truth Seeker, come on down.
Well, I want to say this, if I can say it. I believe that we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. We will continue to wait until the cows come home, until the people start telling the truth about all this. People have been, had died, have cancer, have been put out their homes, have lost their cars, have lost their family, have divorced because of these currencies. It's all BS. And that's all I got to say about it.
Well, so I have a question for you. Are you invested?
I am not.
You're just you're listening. Well, that's good. Like I said, this is a diversified call. Thank you for your opinion.
You're welcome.
No name, no city, just a phone number. Looks like they're possibly from overseas. Area code 323. Come on down.
Is
Hello,
that me?
323. That's you.
Hey, this is Chris, West Hollywood, California.
Okay.
Don't know where the overseas thing comes out. I just, long time, well, not long time, but I listened to your calls for a few months. I appreciate you guys a lot. And I don't care about a rate on the Zim. I just want to get exchanged. But I just wanted to do a shout out. Thank you guys for everything.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate it. And I'll say this again. It has been my privilege from the first time you started listening to the point that I am now. I must thank you for putting up with me as I've grown up a little bit. Of course, some would disagree with that, but what the hey. Houston, 281, come on down.
Oh, hi, Jerry. How you doing? It looks like your
Good.
Cowgirls won again last night.
Hey, steady. You're a Texas boy. Or you're not,
I know.
You're
That's
not
what I'm saying.
All right.
Texas. Anyway, I had to start with that. I really kind of hope you stay to the end. A couple of quick items here, Jerry. I really like you quite a bit. Don't get me wrong. Everything seems to be unraveling a little bit. I listened to Ray Wren today, and he's saying, by the end of the weekend, it looks good. He was very, very positive. No mention of HSBC. Bruce last night, again, he's always has good news. And he was saying any second now, it might even happen at the end of the call. But as I was checking further, and even some of the items that Ito said and everything else, it looked, maybe you can expound on this a little bit. It looked as though the cabal had quite a bit of influence on Wells Fargo. And the word is that Wells Fargo is out and HSBC is in. And apparently, this is what they're saying, the last two, it was being held up by Wells Fargo because the top dog there was controlled by the cabal. So that was like one thing that bothered me. I always thought Wells Fargo was the shining knight in white armor or whatever. But now it just seems as though I Googled HSBC, and they have two in Texas. Two banks in Texas, one in Houston, one in Dallas. Okay, I contacted one in Houston. They don't have any banks in Texas. it's just a front. And I started asking a lot of questions. I said, do you do any exchanges? They mentioned 4 exchanges, the British pound, peso, a few of them, none of the ones we're talking about. I said, are you acquiring Bank of America? They said, oh, no, we're not. Everything is really...
First off, hold on. You call into a phone call, they're not going to know anything. That is upper management who never answers the phone, and you'll never get to them.
I was thinking about that. That's
a
very good. That's why I had to use that as the reason there. So I'm just kind of wondering now. I mean, everybody has so much, especially Bruce. Wells Fargo is so great and this and that. And I had a lot of faith in Wells Fargo. But what's the deal now? I know they have that problem about a month ago when all these people were, opening up a new account for other people's money. And I just thought that was something. But now they're talking to top dogs, and he's out, and the Chinese want to put HSBC in. And I think it's important for you, if it comes from you, or ICO, I feel much better about it. But I'm getting a little worried now. I'm just wondering. It even said
it's okay.
They were trying to negate the whole damn thing, everything. I mean, this is what the so-called Black House is trying to do.
Hold on. All right, hold on. So way back when I said this is a battle between good and evil, and it still is. They're trying everything they can. Like I've said before, if you've got $20 left in your name in your pocket and somebody's trying to take it, you're going to do everything you can, and not short of lopping their arm off or taking their life, because that's how they feel. They feel like they've earned it, that we don't know how to do things. They're trying to govern us through elitists. That's how it is. Money controls pretty much everything. So I hope that answers your question. We won't know again until we get to the bank or wherever to exchange exactly what the rules of the game are. So thank you for your question.
Yeah, and Jerry, this is another. It's a good example for a reality check. First of all, who said Wells Fargo isn't number one anymore? What's the source of that information? And if there were 7,000 exchange centers, all run by Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo designed the software for the worldwide system and the hardware and all the interface and all those millions and millions of dollars in expenses to get to this point, and then somebody magically walks in and says, well, you're no longer running this thing. Are you kidding me? And by the way, they did that over the past 60 days. Are you kidding me? Do you know how anything works, including your kitchen sink? People have to stop taking what is being said in the chat rooms, on the phone calls, as the truth. There is truth in it, but it is not the entire truth. It is misdirection. It is a brilliant psyop, guys. And I know nobody wants to be the victim of a psyop. Like, hey, how could that happen to me? I'm an American. Well, guess what? It just happened to you. So when you're trying to apply logic to an illogical system, you're always going to get frustrated, and it's tough. It's tough, but hopefully it's toughening you up to the decisions you're going to have to make once you do have this money.
He did bring up a good question, and Bruce has said it many times. If he has all these bankers on his call, why don't some of them step up to the plate? They don't have to announce themselves. Just say, hey, I work at Wells Fargo. That's all you need to know, and give a little information. He has said that he's got 150, 200 bankers listening worldwide. Can't some of them please step up to the plate and bring a little information? I know they share it with Bruce, but maybe Bruce can bring one of them on since he's providing the information that they have and give us a little substance. Sorry, tongue-tied today. Anyway, let us go on to Neosha, Missouri, 417. No show, Neo show, 417. Hello, your turn. Neo show, no show, 417. Going once. No show, going twice. Gone. Fort Myers, 239. Come on down.
Yeah, I was listening to another guru this morning, and the same guy that came on and asked for the truth was on his program. So it must be getting near the end when they all start to come out and raise hell about the fact that we should not be involved in a scam.
Well,
I thought it was kind of...
Bless their hearts.
Hey, another question. Has it ever been confirmed that the lower denoms are being used in Iraq yet?
I've been told that the paper, listen closely, the paper 1s, 5s, 10s, and 20s are actually being used. What's not being used is the coins. Now, here is my personal opinion about the coins. They figured out a couple years ago when they did put the coins out that people were taking them and melting them down and getting the metal out of them because they were worth more that way than they were on the streets. So they pulled them back off the streets real quick going, oh, crap, they got wise to us. And crap, we got to make more again. So the coins are not out there yet, but the paper portion is. What I'm looking for is when the coins hit the streets. How's that for a good explanation?
That's a good one.
All righty. Thank you, sir.
Is the RV dependent on it?
Probably not, but glad you brought that up. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It's not all about Iraq, but Iraq is a great indicator of where we're at in this dog and pony show until it's our turn. So use them as an indicator. And, you know, they said, oh, by the way, if come Thursday, the budget's going to be passed, or, you know, they changed the date. Now they've pushed it to Saturday, possibly Sunday. And the IMF has put in ink that they've moved their meeting with Iraq from the 7th to the 5th, which is this coming Monday. So, and their budget's supposed to be passed Saturday, or if not this Sunday. You know, they're talking about that. So things are lining up. We just have to use a lot of indicators. But like I said, we don't know the rules of engagement, and they can change them at any time. Hence the term, the golden rule. He with the gold makes the rules. We have none, so we wait. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ooh, I know who this lady is. Utah.
Jerry, hey, I think, just my opinion, I think Iko's right on this whole bank thing, but I want everybody to remember something. This is a global event, so I don't believe it's based just on Iraq. I think it's a part of it. But when it comes to the banking thing, just think about it this way. We are in the end of this. People are going to throw a lot of stones, and they're going to try and distract us. And all I can say is keep your eye on the ball. I think just remember everything you've learned, and you will be just fine. I don't think this exchange is going to be difficult. So as far as the lower denominations, I agree with you. That's been confirmed from boots on the ground that they are being used. No coins yet. ISIS likes to take those over. But I think we're there, and I really hope everybody does good with their money. I think they, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I'm just saying I agree with you. I go, thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, Doug.
So I'm going to use a cliche here, and I hope it applies. Got my fingers crossed, my toes crossed. Out with the old, in with the new. We're nearing the end of the year. Out with the old, in with the new. So let's hope they give us plenty of time to spend money like a drunken sailor, hollering yee-haw, because you can spend money in good ways to really stimulate this economy. So North Bend, Washington, 425. I bet this is that lady that's going to keep me on the straight and narrow, even post-RV. Should I deviate one bit outside of the white line, she's going to kick my butt. Is this lady?
You better be careful. I'll be packing, will you?
Uh-huh. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Oh, wait, just a second here. I've got to tell you, you're lucky because we almost turned this into the McGuire cooking show, because right now I've got to stir the crock pot.
Well, you better go do that.
I'm multitasking. IR chef today, so.
And is with regard to what Iko had to say about, it was you who said that you were going to do an escrow account for cash. Would that be in lieu of moving? I was debating about Wells Fargo and HSBC, because I know that HSBC has certainly a bank in Singapore, for example. And I was planning on moving a lot of money over into that area. In fact, Ecclesiastes says to put your money, this is a very loose translation, of putting your money in 7 or 8 places, and aren't there 7 or 8 continents, and having a little something in each continent. So I was thinking about doing that. I hadn't thought about the escrow account, and I think that's a very good idea. I also wanted to address the coinage thing, in that it was suggested, well, maybe it wasn't, maybe I just, my own thoughts, that the coinage in Iraq and or going to a cashless society around the world is a control issue, and that we as citizens of the world, certainly the United States, ought to fight that with every fiber of our being, of going to a cashless society, because to me it also leads to that, I know I'm going to sound weird, but the mark of the beast kind of thing is that, and you talked about them freezing your accounts and so forth. I just wanted to toss that out there for your consideration.
I think we're on the same page, and I hope that's a nice tidbit for everybody out there to think about. And thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks for taking my call. Have a nice day.
Should I not take your call? Would bring bad omen to me.
No, please do continue to take my call as I.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Frisco 214. Probably not where you're at. Says cell R.
Gary?
Yes, sir.
This is how you guys doing tonight? Afternoon?
Good. How are you doing?
That's all good. I called last week. I didn't think I was going to talk again, and want to thank you. And you guys are on the top of my list of calls to listen to. I hadn't missed one. Iko, thanks. I tried to tell you bye-bye last time, but But this time, I was sitting there thinking about the background check. I hadn't heard anybody talk about that lately. And give me what y'all's fears or confidence you'll have about what you need to worry about as a background check for you or Iko. What y'all think?
Well, I'll take this.
Okay.
Either you're good or you're not, and you'll know before you get there. And there's nothing you can do about it between now and then, and even after you're there. If they say, sir, there seems to be a problem, there is not a darn thing you can do about it but pick up your funds and turn around and walk off, or say, what can I do about it? Other than that, that's it.
Well, I was going to throw in what I've been thinking about and see. Yeah, I just think it's drug movement, terrorist, or what else? I know those are no good. I forgot that I have. My memory's so bad. I guess I'm choking. But I think I'm like you. I think as vocal as people are on these lines, I think that already tapped on your door already. That's what I kind of think. Not that I got anything to be worried about, but everybody has a few skeletons in the closet. So I didn't know. I just want to see what your opinion
I got my door padlocked and chained and welded shut. Dare say should they open my skeleton door?
Well, that's good. But anyway, I was on the call. Want to tell y'all goodbye again. Same thing as I said last time. You got my number if anything comes up, and I do the face-to-face. And you never know. You never know. This is small. I know the world's getting smaller because of communication, and especially on people that are educated in the dinar land. You never know. But we're all going to have plenty of money. We're going to need lots of help with each other. So thank you much for your call time, especially. And I'm very impressed with where Iko and you have come in dinar land of helping people, and not, the profit motive and the nonsense. It's so easy to decipher. And for the new people, I'd stay right here, and that's what I do. All right, thank you. See you later. Iko, thank you.
Raleigh, North Carolina, 919. I think I know who this
Redneck
is.
Radio. Good afternoon. How are we doing today?
Jerry Maguire's Cooking Show. How can I help you?
Yes. What are we having tonight?
Crockpot stew, carrots, fresh onions, a few secret spices, and good. When I say good meat, I'm talking about rib meat cut up and thrown in the pot there.
Oh, good. And don't forget the good Italian bread to go with it. Iko knows about that.
All right. So what can I do for you?
Well, I'm sure you're probably celebrating the 11-1, you know who, the Star. Gotta love that. Go Pittsburgh this weekend against the Giants. But my question goes out to Iko. Are you there?
He is. He just has
to
unmute.
I'm here.
Okay, question, Iko, and how are you today? I hope you're doing well.
Doing well, thanks.
The IMF meeting, is it in Iraq or is it in NY City this week or Monday or Sunday?
Well, I'm sorry. What now? I missed that. Is what there?
Is the IMF meeting with Iraq in New York City or Iraq?
He's talking about the one that they changed to the 5th.
Yeah. I honestly don't know because I'm no longer focused on any of that.
Okay.
So I don't think, and again, without getting into the no-fly zone, it doesn't matter what Iraq is. Well, I mean, it matters. It matters, but
oh yeah,
that's not what we're looking for. Okay, we're not.
Okay.
It's of course it's an important meeting. Of course it is, but none of this can happen. None of these meetings mean anything unless the GCR is officially instated. And I know we've been getting a lot of intel saying, well, it started, it's this, it's that, people are changing. I don't think so. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
My personal opinion is when they say it's time to go, it will take less than a couple days to get her done. But right now, Iraq is still, and I know this makes some people mad that are listening, but Iraq is still a puppet on a string being controlled by the puppet master.
Oh,
But
I
it's-
totally agree. Oh, absolutely. IMF controlling everything. That's why I was just wondering, you know, I've always agreed that, yes, they're part of this. GCR, of course. You must have a stable Iraq. I've always believed that since day one, about 11 years ago. And I just think that, you know, hopefully something good will come out of that meeting and we can be hippy-hoppy to the bank in a couple of weeks or so. So thanks, Heiko. You guys have a great weekend.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, you know, it's not that insurance executive, but I think it's just as bad. It's that dude out of Wilmington, Delaware, that's down in Florida, one of them highfalutin snowbirds. Do we want to talk to him, Iko?
Sure.
Are you sure? It's Delaware.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Delaware's fine. Delaware treated
Okay,
me
30
well.
Okay, 302.
Hi, Jerry and Iko. I'm not
Hey, how's
in
it
Florida.
going?
It's going well. I'm sorry I got kicked off the call for a problem. I don't know whether anybody asked the question, but Dr. Clark has come out and said that the Zim was just stuff you can hang on the wall for paper, and it was guaranteed to be worthless. And I was wondering if you've had any indications that you think he's full of, you know what?
Well, I've always thought that he was full of it. I remember a couple
Okay.
calls ago I said, welcome to Team Yosef, Clark, and Mountain Goat. I said there's probably a dozen people writing people writing for Team Disinfo. Well, there you go. They put just enough, they sprinkle just enough truth in there to keep you hooked. They got the hook in you.
Well, the interesting thing is he said very definitively that, it's crap. So we will very shortly know, and you probably already know because you've just told me so, that it's multiple writers and they don't know what they're doing. They're just keeping things going because it's either it is or isn't. And I'm not putting mine in any kind of a framework and sticking it up over the mantle. I'm going to be ready to go to the exchange with it. Thanks for what you do and all the thoughts you put into sharing things with us. I really appreciate it. Have a great, great Christmas.
You too. And when it goes down, new analogy, drunken sailor, span.
I'm ready.
All right. Austin, 512. Come on down. Last three of your phone numbers.
Hey, Jerry.
Oh, yep, got you. Come on.
Hi there. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great. How about them Cowboys?
Kicking butt. Of course, they got a little scared yesterday. I got a little scared too. Had to have another beer.
Yeah, no. I started chewing my cuticles on my fingernails, man.
What can I do for you today?
I felt so good about this until today, and all of a sudden I got panicky, and I thought I'd call. This is the first time I've called in. How and why would the bank freeze our money?
Are you talking about my comment about getting another account? Who knows? Oh, you know what? I forgot to make an announcement today. And Iko, shame on you for not telling me to do this. Ma'am, give me just a second here. Okay. I want to do a shout out, and I hope somebody carries it over to this person. It's a shout out to Dan O.B. over at Open Mic. I got to say, you were totally right, and I was a little late doing it, but at one time you said, this is not the Jerry Maguire hour, and maybe you need to start your own call. Thank you for giving me that insight. Everybody needs to tell him that he was the main instigator for Jerry Maguire starting a call. I want to do a shout out. Thank you, Dan O.V. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Well,
freezing
talking
your money.
about
They can freeze it for any reason. They don't have to have one, but they'll give you one, and that's why this is about protection.
Mhm.
Boy
well,
Scout, just in case.
Escrow. It says it's a bond, a deed, or other document kept in the custody of a third party, taking effect only when a specified condition has been fulfilled. So are you talking about trust or savings or?
Well, and I said when I was talking about it that it may not, I was referring to it as an escrow account, but that may not be the name for it. But that's what I just called it. It may not be the true term for it, but I was given that as an example or an explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Because, I'd planned on putting money in trust and different, especially credit unions. And then have like a bill paying account. I just got
I'm
nervous.
talking about if they freeze your assets, how are you going to represent yourself?
Right. Well, I have
That's
an attorney that I've known since the 80s,
Well, then
and I trust him completely.
Well, then ask him exactly what it is, but I was just giving you an example, okay?
Okay. Well, I just got nervous.
It's okay. It's not meant to be nervous. It's called protecting your assets.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Well, I feel
Thank
a little
you.
bit better then. Thank you so much, and I do appreciate y'all very much. And go
Cowboys!
Cowboys! Okay, thanks.
This could be a blast from the past. Who knows? No name, no city, but it says anonymous. Come on down. Anonymous. Hello. You raised your hand. Anonymous?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Hey, you talk about we're at the end of this. I've been hearing we're at the end of this for about 4 years. So.
Oh, yeah.
That holds no weight. And I'm just wondering if all of currency land has lost any kind of common sense where you put your faith in these gurus that are never right, like Bruce, like TNT, and you just put your thoughts and your hoping this weekend on these guys that wrong time after time after time. People clear your head and get some common sense. Get back to reality.
So bring us some common sense.
Right. Okay. Iko, you're talking about, this is my theory and what I think, but Iko talked about there's way more people in this than what was ever planned on. So if you have that problem, what do? Make up a story about Dong. That don't work good enough, you make up a story about Rupiah. And if you need something really cheap, you make up Zim. And then the government says it's no good, you make up a crazy story that it's a bond. And then a crazy story about a GCR. It's easy to be grounded on this if you just think it's dinar. So people just use your common sense and get leveled down to the basics. Because these people are wrong time after time are the ones making up these stories.
Well, I'm glad that you have not put me in the category as a guru because I'm not that. Thank you for that.
All right. Well, come on. I feel sorry for a lot of these people because they just believe in anything that's told by people that are wrong time after time. Just look at who's telling you this stuff. So I appreciate you having the call. And I think you two are doing your best. It's just I think you're believing stuff that's just made up on a lot of it.
Are you invested?
Yeah, I'm invested, and I've even got some Zim. I figure I'll do my money. I wasted my money on the Zim, wasted the money on the Dong, but I do think the dinar one day will be worth something. So that's
well. There you go, and that's why we all, as individuals, have made a choice. And if it works out to where it's worth something, then you have Christmas past just the dinar. You'll have the Dong and the Zim. So thank you, sir.
All right, but I mean, just how much sense does it to believe somebody telling you stuff that's wrong, that's a convicted con man? I mean, just think about that. Have a good one.
Oh, all right, you too. Anyway, yeah, Wingman. I think we've reached that pinnacle moment. It's near the hour mark. Any words of Wingman wisdom? Oh, wait, hold on. Rodeo Drive. Come on down.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Well, I don't know. It all depends on how you're doing.
Well, today I'm feeling pretty good. And I'm just happy to hear all your voices. And I want to wish everyone a blessed and happy holiday season and a great Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
And I want you to do me a favor.
What's that?
Stop chasing the cowboys down Rodeo Drive. They're tired.
I wish I had that kind of energy, but I just can't wait to get back to Texas.
Well, there you go. All righty, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to comment on the caller before. He's absolutely right. The only currency involved in this that we actually have an executive order, specific executive order on, is the dinar. The only reason to have invested in the other currencies was the return on investment, specifically the Zim. That said, all the intel we get or have gotten on everything else other than the dinar could absolutely be false. Could be. But am I not going to spend $1,100 on something that's going to net me billions? What the heck? That's what? That's 2 nights out in Manhattan. I'll take that risk. It's risk assessment. But to not get involved, to not get caught on the roller coaster, that's really what he's talking about. And that makes absolute 100% sense. And if it wasn't for all these people who want to be on that roller coaster, who need the adrenaline rush, who need the codependency, who need to believe that they are, what's the phrase, highly blessed, or any of the other catchphrases. Without those folks, then people like Joseph and Tank and the others wouldn't have an audience. But this investment has attracted people who need to be rescued, who need to point to others for the problems in their lives. If you look at this as a pure investment, as a really incredible ROI, and something that has precedence, like the dinar and the executive order, as it went down in Kuwait with that executive order, then this is a no-brainer. It's a matter of, just like any other investment, it's waiting for it to mature. And if you follow the narrative, if you do the research, and I mean, like spending 6-8 hours a day doing your homework, like I've done, I get the narrative. I get everything about this entire circus. But you know what? There's a gold ring on this merry-go-round. There is a gold ring. And sooner or later, you're going to figure out how to catch it. But they're going to let us catch it, however you want to put it. So I wish more people had his outlook or his process in seeing this thing for what it is. It's both a dream and a reality.
I'm just glad he didn't lump me in the guru category, because I get accused of that all the time. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm a guru. I'm just talking common sense here.
Yeah, that actually is a badge. Whenever I read these tributes to the gurus, we don't get mentioned. So I see that as a compliment, actually. You know, we're not in that basket. So anyway.
I want to say this again. Maybe somebody next Tuesday, if we're still here, can take over to Bruce on the big call. Maybe he can get a couple banker buddies to come in and give a breakdown of where we're at, what's going on. If they're good enough to give it to him and he shares it on, why can't they just come on themselves? That's all I'm asking. Anyway, I think, well, you know what? Hold on. Lost Wages, Nevada, 702. Come on down.
Hi, Jerry. I just want to thank you. This may be my last chance, and wish you a Merry Christmas, all of you. And it's been an interesting ride. I have an observation which is going to morph into a question at the end. And that is based on what you said about putting money away in different places. I've been concerned about the same issue you're concerned about from the very beginning, and I've been in this for a really long time. But then I'm a researcher, and I know what's going on out there pretty well. How is it that you think that will protect you, having cash money in different places all over the world? If everything goes to digital, you won't be able to use that cash no matter where you put it.
Well, no, whether it's digital or not, I'm just saying, instead of having it all in one spot where they can tie it up and you can't get representation or whatever else.
But if you're going to pay for an attorney to represent you in a case like this, which is really, I think, a very feasible, possible situation, how are you going to get the attorney to accept the cash money to pay for the services?
It's not going to be cash money. You're going to make a transfer, a digital transfer.
Okay.
It's outside the jurisdiction of the U.S.
Yes, I understand that. I'm going there too. Okay, very good. Well, thank you for your explanation.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this is why you all want to look into having a second passport as well. They're expensive to get in a shorter period of time, but again,
they're worth it.
You're protected from U.S. access.
Albuquerque 505. Show me the money.
How are you guys tonight? I'm glad I got
good. How are you doing?
This is a little off the topic. I heard last night on a call, and I've seen some videos and stuff on YouTube about Michelle Obama is actually a man. But last night I heard, I think it was Yossi that said that Donald Trump's wife is a man, and that was the first time. Do you know anything or heard anything about that one?
No, not even going to talk
about it. If she's a man,
I
am full-blown gay, brother.
Yeah, well, that's no lie. Me
a
too.
hard time believing.
And proud of it.
Yeah, absolutely. All righty, sir. Thank you.
Yikes.
Last caller. Hutchinson, Kansas, 620. Is this somebody I know?
I don't think so. But hey, I made me laugh, that last guy. I mean, he cracked me up. But a comment, first comment before I say anything else is that this is going to happen when it happens. I used to be on the roller coaster, and boy, you just couldn't get the money, the currency fast enough, in the mail because it was going to happen right now. And that was years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But anyhow, now we're just waiting, and it will. But also, Trump had to give a speech last night in Ohio. And, it was the governor and then Pence and then Trump come on. And he had mentioned brought up twice about the Middle East. I don't know if you'd listened to that or or not. But he had brought up probably about a quarter of the way through the call. He had talked a lot about the U.S., how things were really going to pick up for us. And then he brought up the Middle East, and he said, we've spent $9 trillion on the Middle East. And I don't know how, but anyhow, that's what he said. And he said, look at the mess over there. And then he said, things are going to change. And, he raised his finger up and kind of pointed, things are going to change. You wait. And I thought, wow, it's going to be about the RV. Didn't go into any other detail. And then towards the end of the call, said the same thing. And he said, we've spent $9 trillion in the Middle East. And he said, look at the mess it's in. And he said, I can tell you, people, things are going to change throughout the world. And, he brought it up twice. And I'm still trying to he didn't say any more than that. He didn't go into any detail. But wouldn't you think that this is what it's all about?
Well, yes, and what makes me nervous is that wonderful leader in Turkey. Aragon or Eddon or Doofus said the only reason I'm sending troops to Syria is to overthrow the Assad regime. I'm like, that is a declaration of war, and why would he make that statement, and why isn't there a big uproar in the UN? But it's been rather quiet, and only he is rumbling and making any noise. Nobody else has said anything to contradict what he's saying, like step out of line, we'll smack your hand. Nothing, just him making a comment like that. So,
yeah, I don't know anything about that. But
all right, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
And this is what I forgot a couple of times. I sent out a tweet, but I'm going to say it on the air. The PSYOP manuals that's in that link, that Dropbox link that I sent out, I am not responsible for the content or the information that's in it. I am only supplying the link of what was supplied to me, and it was said, share this with the people. So I did. I am not responsible for what's in the manuals. I can't be any plainer than that. So there we go. Wingman, I think we have reached that pinnacle moment, and I'd like to say that it is again has been my pleasure that you've allowed me to host a call, bring a little bit of information. You've grown with me as I have grown with you, and I want to thank everybody for that. And all this goes back down to Jesus Christ and His name. So at that being said, Wingman, what is the final word of the day?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
The conference is now completed. Goodbye.